It's kind of an unofficial thing to do. We're gonna try it. People say, gotta take risks, which is true. And then they act like it's crazy when sometimes you fail. Or you act like it's crazy for yourself when sometimes you fail. That's the whole definition of taking a risk. And I took one with this route. I knew that. But it's funny. It's easy to make yourself sound cool and be like, this is a bit risky, because if this doesn't work out, I'm gonna have to completely turn around and, you know, all the things that we're probably about to do. And then it really happens. And you feel ashamed about it. Why? I thought that's what made it cool, was that you might have to do something horrible if it doesn't work out, or suffer the consequences, etc. These are the consequences. Hey everybody, Syntax77 here, and by here, this time I mean Guadalupe Mountains National Park. Deep in West Texas, very close to the New Mexico border, and honestly not that far from Mexico, the country itself. If you see a map of Texas on the left-hand or western side, that little pointy part that sticks off, that's sandwiched in between New Mexico and Mexico, I'm right there. And if you haven't heard of Guadalupe Mountains National Park before, don't feel bad, neither have I. Apparently it's one of the lesser traveled parks, but if you've heard of Big Bend National Park, that's about 3 or 4 hours south of here. So we're kind of a stepsister to that, I suppose. We're gonna have some fun. I got 3 days, 2 nights. We're gonna do some backpacking. It's gonna be awesome, I hope. One of the challenges of this trip that's a little different that I forgot about for desert hiking, there are no water sources here. You're not, even if you found water, you're not allowed to take it. You're not allowed to collect it, pardon me. But I haven't read any reports that you could find water anyway. So I got over 20 pounds of water. They recommend a gallon per day with me. And I got 5-6 pounds of food. So my base weight is usually 9 pounds. That's all my gear, including my backpack. And to put that in perspective, I have almost 30 pounds of just food and water on my back for this trip, so it's going to be a little tough. But I got my permit taken care of. You're able to do that online, but the catch is you have to go pick it up. You can reserve it online, but you have to go pick it up and have it printed out in person at the Pine Springs Visitor Center. So I got that taken care of this morning. It's right basically next to the Pine Springs car camping campground. And from there, I have a trailhead that I'm going to use to create a loop out here for 3 days. Now, you might be looking around like I am and saying, that sure doesn't look like a parking lot. And you are correct. This is a little bit weird and different, but I'm starting this video right now 2 days in. I'm deep into the loop. I'm in the middle of nowhere. And if you're wondering why I did that, it's because, well, I got a little bit of a situation. I'll take the pack off and show you. You see these bottles right here? I got that right there. Hopefully there's something in the other one, right? No, that's empty. This right here, 2 days in, deep into the loop. Remember what I said about water, right? Well, that's all I have on me right now. So, yeah. If you're wondering how I got myself into this situation and what is going on with that, that's why I'm starting now, to explain that. Or, well, actually, you know what? Maybe it would be better to just take it from the top. Trust me, it's all gonna hopefully work out. I don't know. I still have a day and a half to go here. But yeah, we'll take it back to the beginning. way back when I had a bright future in front of me. I just picked up my permits from the office. The ranger gave me some tips. I walked over to the campground, car camping area parking lot, and I was just hitting the trail, feeling good. In fact, I actually got a relatively early start, around 9 a.m. after I got my permits and whatnot from the front office. About $6 a piece, no big deal. And from what they told me, nobody's going to be at my first campsite tonight. I'll have that to myself. A little solitude. It is April. It's only like 60 degrees right now, 63 or something like that. And the other night, I'm staying about 20 miles from here. The other night, it was 37 degrees when I woke up, so it'll be chilly in the mornings and then go up to like 70s during the day. And we'll be about 4,000 feet higher than in town, so probably 10 degrees cooler than whatever the forecast is up here. So did pack some extra layers for that. Could be around low 30s when we wake up in the morning. Whew. Now look at that. Pretty cool. And a good excuse to stop, and I've only gone like 4 feet. Probably the heaviest pack I've had, geez, since the last time I was desert camping. In Arizona, same thing, had to carry all my water. But that weight on my back just might get a little lighter soon. Or actually should be closing in on our first milestone of the trip. It's on the other side of this ridge. Once we get up to this intersection. So, no stock beyond this point, because this here, even though it's not marked by a trail, I mean a sign, see how the trail goes there? We're going to do that tomorrow. That is the Guadalupe Peak horse stock trail. As far as I know, it's okay for me to be on that as well. It's just that horses can only use stock trails. But here's the key thing going on. This here marks where I continue tomorrow all the way around in my big old loop to Pine Top Campground, and then continue back down that way to the Campground and Visitor Center parking lot. But this here is going to be a 5-mile roughly round trip out and back. It's going to go to Guadalupe Peak Campground, and then a couple miles beyond that, after I set up camp, without the weight on my back, I can go and tag the peak. Hopefully after some of this storm cloud activity rolls out. The key thing here though is that tomorrow I will be back at this very spot. So I'm going to do something called a water cache, which means I'm going to hide some water around here and I'm going to retrieve it tomorrow. Pretty common thing to do in the desert. It's actually encouraged by the Park Service to do a water cache. Takes the weight off your back, and then you can continue on and pick up the water for later. So I'm going to trudge around and I'm going to hide 2 days worth of water and just take with me right now what I need for midday or late morning tomorrow. So trail goes there. I think I see a little maybe game path here, and I'm just gonna look around. Yeah, this is like a steep drainage. This is not trail, but I'm gonna use it to go up here and cache some water. That feels better. So yeah, I got These are 1.5 liters. That's 3 liters just in those bottles there. As I dump my phone on the ground. Inside my pack is even more water, and then I got small water bottles here as well as here and here. They're all over the place. So I got a little, where is it at here? Yeah, grocery bag, and stash it around here somewhere. Okay, little Fisher space pen there. That guy's like probably 10 years old at this point, still going strong. Space pen, writes underwater, upside down, on crazy stuff. Always carry one with me hiking. So I just made a little note. Sean, water cache, dropped off 4.7, picking up 4.8. I'll pop that in my bag of water. That way, if somebody stumbles upon it, they're a little more dissuaded to think, oh, maybe this has been here for a year and I'm pretty thirsty. Nope. It was left here yesterday and I will be back for it. So let's hide it good, or good enough, and then we'll be on our way. All right. Let's like this. Go. Got my note on top. Here's all my water. I will pin it with a GPS pin. All right. Oh my God. That feels so much better. It's about back to normal. I'm still carrying a little more water than a lot of times I do. Got like 3 liters on me, which for the rest of the day and tomorrow should be good. And keeping in mind, all of my food, none of it requires water. Usually you have a backpacking meal like a mountain house and you have to use the water you're carrying to rehydrate it, like 2 cups per meal or so. So every 2 meals is a whole nother liter. But for this trip, I said, why buy a bunch of expensive mountain house meals when the advantage is that they're lightweight because you just add water when you're by a stream or something. So all of my meals for this trip are MREs. If you're not familiar with MREs, military meal ready to eat, that'll allow me to really know that all the water I'm carrying is strictly for drinking. I just brought 4 MREs. They're about 1,250 calories a piece. So I got 5,000 for the trip, which is a little light, but based on previous experience, I should be okay. That gives me 2 per day. And the last day I usually eat light because I kind of fast, if you will, as I focus on getting a post-hike cheeseburger. It has started to rain a little bit too, so put the pack cover on just to keep it dry in case these clouds open up, which hopefully they don't. No rain jacket. Actually didn't bring one. Probably not smart, but I got some other layers that'll be nice and dry in my pack. And my idea is if I get a little shower, just by hiking and moving in the latter half of the day without rain, I'll probably dry out pretty good, and then I'll have warm clothes to change into or put on at night. Rock formations are getting interesting. Trail is getting steeper, but it is getting brighter out. Maybe that was the last gasp of rain, I don't know. We can only hope. Caution, cliff riders, dismount and lead. Remember, this part of the trail is available to stock. Most likely horses around here, I assume. So yeah, it looks like we're getting onto a sketchier part. Or if you did have a horse, you wouldn't want to be sitting on its back anymore. You'd want to be carefully leading it. Pretty cool. You can see the switchback we came up. It's real prominent now. Leading all the way down. Oh wow, yeah, that's a drop. Wow, I think that faint outline there is probably the trail ultimately we'll take tomorrow that wraps around behind here and then down. Once we get to camp, I'll break out the map, give you a little better idea of the loop kind of creation that I've got going on. But that might actually be Pine Top, which is where the campground will be tomorrow. Campsite. Oh wow. Look at all those piney trees. Or at least greener and bushier looking than I've seen for a while. Wow. I think I can see the trail ridge kind of faintly go through there. Snake its way over top of that thing there. In the direction of the campsite. This is pretty cool. We're on a little knife edge between two sections of the park, if you will. Two little bowls. You know, I didn't really think it was that windy today, and it hasn't been. Haven't really thought about it, but this side of the mountain suddenly does feel quieter, more still. Although I notice more bird sounds occasionally. It's a different vibe for sure. I like it. It's nice. I imagine on a hot summer's day, or even a April day with full sun, this would be a nice, cool, shady area. It's a little chilly today. Right now, putting some work in, feels pretty good. But at this point, I'm at 7,600 feet elevation. Let's say maybe a mile and a quarter to go, and we should see the spur trail off to Guadalupe Peak campground. So, break time over, although what's this little spur trail? Speaking of spur trails, this looks unofficial, but should I do it? Do you think there's a little view over here? Seems pretty well worn. Let's add a couple extra steps to our day. Oh, cool. Wow, yeah. That was worth it. So there's the road I came in on. And it snakes down around. And I think that's it, winding over there. And if you keep going behind this mountain, I should be able to see it when I'm at the top, is Del City. And that is where we're staying this week in the RV. I do feel a little more winded than usual. I think maybe the extra weight, because I'm still carrying more than I usually do with the full weight of the MREs and a little extra water. I think that's making me notice that I'm getting out of breath a little quicker than normal. I mean, I know I'm not in the best hiking shape that you can be in, but I do feel like I'm getting gassed a little easy. So I don't know, maybe 8,000 feet or so does affect me a little bit, at least when I'm pushing my weight limits a little bit. I am from the East Coast, Delaware, where parts of our state are below sea level, so, you know, definitely got those East Coast lungs. That's for sure. Alright. Still some dark clouds stuck over there too. Look at that trail. That looks intense. Bet you we might be doing that tomorrow. Yikes. Alright, try not to think about that. Just think about one trail at a time. In our case, the one that gets us to camp, where I can ditch a bunch of this gear, get even more weight off my back. I think that might be it up there from looking at my map. Just gotta make it around this curve. I've read it is one of the more exposed campsites, so it's not the best for high winds and storms, but hopefully we'll be all right. See some sort of marker up here, pile of rocks and a sign of some sort. So it's one primitive camp area called Guadalupe Peak Campground, but it's got 5 separated areas for tents. But from what I was told by park ranger this morning, nobody else is going to be up here unless they have a walk-in after me. He said it was just me. There was another group, but they canceled yesterday or this morning or something. So maybe coming midweek paid off, because I'm pretty sure this is, I would guess, the most popular backcountry campsite in the park. You know, it's only a handful of miles from the visitor center, and it's right next to probably the most prominent excursion peak, the tallest one in Texas, which is right there, back there, Guadalupe. So I was ready to share this one, but I think we're going to be okay. There's one of the tent areas, nice and flat there. Probably most protected from the wind. Let's go and see if there's something with a view over here. See how chilly it is. The wind already feels pretty cold. I'm about to put these sleeves down. Whew. Yeah, it's cold up here. Huh. Come to the edge of a cliff. So I'm going to backtrack to that first tent platform and look at it with a fresh set of eyes. Maybe I missed something, because I'm not seeing any camping over here. Yeah, there we go. Oh, and I just felt a raindrop. I'm hungry. I really want to get into some food, but I think I'm going to drop the pack here. Get the tent set up, because if it opens up, at least I can be in the tent and eat some food. And like I said, I don't have my rain top on or anything like that. So maybe, yeah, I'm going to drop it right on top of this guy. He's protected in a little alcove. I don't feel as much wind actually as that guy over there. I'm ready to get the pack off, so that's what we're gonna do. Some rain cover on there. Take that off. And unzip this guy. You can see the contents, all my lovely contents. Some long underwear for tonight. Oh, I just dropped in the dirt. Put that on the rock. Memory packs. Beef goulash. All of these have the meal and then also like sides and stuff. Like I said, 1,250 calories on average. And usually about 1.5 pounds a piece. Beef patty jalapeno. Vegetable crumbles. Oh, the rain's picking up. I shouldn't be taking all this out. And meatballs and marinara. Alright. Let's get the tent first and foremost. And then zip this back up. I'll get the tent real quick. I can see raindrops hitting my gear. There's that. Yeah, the rain's picking up. Hopefully it's quick like it was earlier. Come on. There you go. Tent spikes. Oh, by the way, they give you these wag bags. Yeah, you gotta poop in a bag around here. I'll get into that later. Right now, though, let's get the tent spikes. Okay. Whew. Drops are getting bigger. I'm gonna put this tent together real quick and we'll reconvene. Change plans. Actually came over here. It's hailing right now and rain. It's a mix. But at least I'm under this tree a little bit to get this tent set up. All right. Woo! Let's do it because I'm getting wet. Okay, I was about to rush and throw the pack in there, but now that we're set up haphazardly, but good enough to keep me and the gear dry, the hail and the rain, it's misting a little bit. Actually, I probably should get in there. I'm probably soaking up a lot more moisture than I'm realizing right now, especially since it's a little better under this tree. But all right, let me get inside and eat some food. Let's see here. Just get ready. Assume there's going to be another round of rain. And we'll take this off. There we go. Well, actually, because of the zipper top open, that's nice. I can keep this here. It's under the vestibule. I can get to my emery, whichever one that's going to be. Vegetable crumbles with pasta and taco style sauce. It's vegetarian, but high protein somehow. So, okay. Zip myself under here. Take a seat. Actually, when I think about it, since the rain's not right now, I should probably blow up my sleeping pad so I can have something to sit on while I snack. But let's get out of the rain here. I'll just sit right on the ground for now. Oh, woo! Comfy, 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 comfy. Oh man, well that's a bummer, but man, there's some fog rolling in. Or actually, I guess we're really just kind of in a cloud. Whew. That temperature has dropped quite a bit with that hail coming through. 49. Everything is wet. I guess that's what rain does. Menu number 11. I'll probably heat up the taco creation, whatever it is, and I'll eat that to get me fueled up to go up the mountain. So let's see what we got. Drum roll. Here is my pouch of taco pasta, chili lime hot sauce. I got a thing of applesauce. I can eat that real quick for some calories. First Strike nutritious energy bar. I'll probably take that with me on the hike. Jalapeno flavored cashews to go with my taco theme. And vacuum sealed crackers, dry as hell, and I strangely love them because they usually give something to put on it, right? And in my case, I've never had this, chunky peanut butter. I've had the regular peanut butter, so that's super fun. Vanilla cappuccino instant powder. All right, that's breakfast tomorrow. We'll save that. French vanilla cappuccino powder. Ooh. I'll have to have that cold tomorrow. I didn't bring a stove at all, which saves me weight to make up for the fact that I'm bringing all this MRE weight. Each kit comes with toilet paper, salt, pepper, towelettes, some chewing gum. The reheating pouch. So that's what you put the water in, and it activates with that metallic stuff inside, and it gets super hot. That's water activated, just like an ounce of water, and it starts getting real hot, and that's what heats up your pouch of ready to eat food. I mean, you could eat it cold if you're really hungry enough and didn't want to waste your time. So actually right now, let's just try the cashews. I'm just going for the cashews now. Vacuum sealed. It's not bubbled up, which means it's maintained its seal. That's good. There we go. Open it up. They're a little crushed. But there they are. Let's see what they taste like. Nothing too fancy, just some cashews, but I'm hungry. Oh wow. Okay. Very salty, which is good. I've been sweating. Heavy on the acid. There's definitely like a vinegar or a lime thing going on. Wow. Okay. Also, you hear that? Yeah, I'm glad we're back in here. Okay, a little spicy. Maybe that's why my nose is running. Whew, man, it's got some zest to it, and I'm pretty good with heat, but heightened senses today, I guess. Those jalapeno cashews are good. Anyway, yeah, you just eat some food and hope that the rain tapers off so we can get back out there. Alright, this time I'm a little more confident. The rain has stopped. And here's my pouch of food. So, take it out of the little thingy here. It's been sitting for a little bit. Hopefully I didn't let it sit too long. Let's see. It feels somewhat warm. It is cold right now, by the way. As you can see, I'm bundled up. I didn't think I would need this puffy until tomorrow morning, but it turns out that's not the case. It is cold. But it is a new jacket. The Outdoor Vitals Zulu down jacket. Full disclosure, they sent it to me. Complimentary. So, you know, I guess take anything I say about it with a grain of salt. But I like most of their, actually all their gear that I've had over the years, which is basically just tents and jackets and then the pants that I always wear. But as you can see, I'm wearing these ones now because I had those pants for 2 years and 2 months. And I wore them multiple times per week, even while not hiking. And yeah, it was a little too much. I beat them to, I beat the heck out of them, and I finally had to lay them to rest. So I'll have to get a new pair of those. But anyway, at least I got the jacket for free. So like I said, I guess, can you trust anything I say about the jacket over the course of this trip? Probably not. Probably not, because I got it for free. But so far, it's keeping me warm. All right, there's my pouch. Let's put this under a rock so it doesn't blow away. And looks like there's some black beans in here. Try to show you without spilling it everywhere. And there it is in all its glory. So it is nice and warm. Not piping hot, but it's warm. Oh, okay. Got almost like a lasagna noodle shape mixed with beans and tomato sauce. And this is apparently vegetarian with a taco flavor. Well, okay, not hot. Well, I didn't do a good job of heating it up. Ah, It's good though. Honestly, I don't know who actually makes this creation, but it tastes a whole lot like if Beefaroni made taco pasta. Let's pump it up with some chili hot sauce, chili lime hot sauce. I'm dumping the whole thing in. Go to town with it. I'm probably going to eat 2 of these entrees today. Tomorrow I'm probably going to have snacks left over from both emeries for breakfast, and then another one for dinner, and that'll leave me with basically just snacks for the hike out, which is kind of how I usually do things anyway. But that's how I'm planning to ration my rations. Let's see how the sauce does. I'm hoping this rain holds off and these clouds continue to burn off, because I'm slowly getting some views around here. So get some calories in me. Tent is drying out. It's in the shade a little bit, but that's okay. It was nice to have some protection from that little storm. Talk about timing. I mean, I got a little wet, but I basically got here right when it started raining, so that could have been a lot worse. And it was kind of cycling back and forth between hail and rain, sometimes a mix. So it was pretty damp. Actually, the second time when I ate my snacks and cooked my MRE, it was just regular old wet rain coming down that whole time. Probably spent, geez, I mean, it's well, I could tell you, it is 3 in the afternoon. Look at that. Time flies when you're doing camp chores and hiding from the rain, I guess. Clouds are coming and going in my pack because of those clouds, because it's a lot colder when the clouds are out, although it's warmed up. We're back up to 62, but just in case, I do have that new jacket in there. I almost didn't bring it, and then I was like, it's 11 ounces, and it was pretty warm, and I'm even a little chilly right now, to be honest. So if it gets completely clouded and we're up at a higher elevation, it could be a little rough. My first strike bar, nutritious energy bar, apple cinnamon for my MRE is going in there. That's some dirt. That's good. Doing work. All right. Look at that. Whip that thing around now. Feels a little bit better. And I didn't even bother taking all my stuff out. You know, like little stuff, like, I don't know, just minor items. Because it still feels light enough for what I'm about to do, and then I don't have to reorganize everything when I get back. All right, we're good. That right there is actual Guadalupe Peak. My camp is, I think, 8,050 feet, so 700-800 feet we'll be on top of this guy. I don't think I mentioned before, but this is actually the Chihuahuan Desert. Largest desert in North America. And a portion of it is here in Texas. And another fun fact that I have not mentioned, this whole mountain range ridge that we've been looking up at and slowly getting on top of is actually a reef. Yeah, like, you know, you've heard of a coral reef. Bunch of little organisms that like sunlight, but they don't like getting blown around, so they have hard kind of skeletal systems. They latch onto stuff, they die. Another organism latches onto their previous husk, and over years you get these hard formations that are actually made of biology. That is what a coral reef is. Algae and some other biological entities, they make up all this. What you see, it's actually reef. Pretty wild, which means you guessed it. This was all underwater at one point. It was a sea, the Delaware Sea actually, and it was connected by a very narrow channel to the larger Well, at that point, the whole world was just one ocean, and then there were seas like this one connected to it, smaller bodies. But yeah, many moons ago, this was a tropical sea, and right now we would be underwater amongst the reef and fish and whatever organisms were around back then, around 270-ish million years ago. The Permian period. Hence, this area was called the Permian Basin. Yep. This way, uphill. Burn off that taco pasta. Pretty amazing views all around, really, everywhere. Also, speaking of views, I should look out for, I did not plan this, you're gonna think I did. I should look out for evidence of a biological material, the remnants of the reef. As we go, there will be fossils. And this right here, I actually read about. And I thought I was going to have a harder time finding it. But if this is what I saw when I was reading, this looks like it may be these single-celled organisms. Which I know, like a blood cell, like that small, single cell. But they form these hard shells many, many times their cellular single cell size to protect them. And then they built up as part of the reef. And I do believe, wow, I checked that off quick. I thought I would see like a seashell or something before I saw that. Whoa. Whew. All right. Pay attention to that footing, huh? Quite a drop. Wow. Just saw another one of those signs back there that said, "Lead your horse." I guess when I see those, I should read that as, "Watch your feet," because it's steep. I can see the trail. That's what we got to do, winding up there to the peak. And it looks like we have a cool, okay, at least they put a guardrail up on this section. Wow. No words for that one. Just wow. And so, the switchbacks begin. There's that crazy trail over there again that I have a bad feeling we're going to be taking tomorrow. I'm pretty sure that's it. But what I have a good feeling about is that's our campsite, where my tent is sitting and hopefully drying off right now. Not that it really matters, it's dry inside, that's the important part. Woo. Oh wow. See that almost spiral looking creation there? It's actually because it was pushed up on an angle after This sea that I was talking about, with the narrow connection to the world ocean at that time, it eventually closed off as sea levels dropped, and because of that, it was no longer a part of that big world ocean. This is back during, if any of you remember Pangea from school, where they show that giant, just single continent, and then they do like puzzle pieces to show you how it spread out and eventually made all the continents today. This is back then. So it got cut off, no more water source. It eventually evaporated off, and it left behind all that sediment, minerals, all that stuff that's floating in a sea. And it basically buried all these reefs, and that's what that guy is there. That's the backside of El Capitan. But he was buried under sediment, mud, and minerals for a long time. Then about 8-10 million years later, so about maybe 260-ish million years ago, this comes back to Pangea. That thing breaks apart, all kind of tectonic plates, things start happening over millions of years. Well, eventually, this buried reef, because of some plates smashing together, you got your two plates, they kind of come at each other, and that's how you make mountains, right? Well, it lifted all this stuff up again, exposed the old reef, and it was pushed up like two boards coming together, and one slips up underneath the other one. And it makes those angles. All right. Well, flat section's gone, so I don't know if you can see it, but there's something shiny up there. I think I know what it is. Just got to go towards that shiny thing. Oh, Lord. I can see how some hiking poles might be nice right now. Did I bring any? No. Of course not. Where there really would have been nice is on the downhill, but yeah, I'll think about that. We'll think about that after the summit. I don't know if this is really the way to go, but it's something. Gosh. Okay, don't put any weight on that. Yeah, I don't think this is actually the trail. But you get up here and over, because the shiny thing's over here. Who knows, maybe this is it. It's just pretty intense. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, this is it. That looks like another little trail to a viewpoint. Maybe I'll hit that on the way back. Whew. Okay. Come on. Shiny thing. Oh man. There it is. There it is. Post Office Department of the United States of America, shout out. Didn't expect that. Hey, this is sponsored by, well, what do you know? Thank you, Postal Service and American Airlines, for apparently creating the biggest, tallest peak in Texas. But we are here right now. I feel like I might have gotten off on some unofficial shortcut. I don't know, I'll have to check my map, but either way, we're here. And so is he. You got any friends? Yes, you do. Wow. This is incredible. And you see that water out there? Not water. Salt flats. Those are salt flats. Drove through them on the way to Del City. I mean, they are just pure white, almost blinding when the sun hits it. Pretty awesome. Another view down onto El Cap, the Texas version. Wow. Pretty awesome indeed. There we go. So, down in the haze, before that other bump of mountains, right around in there, you can see where we're staying, roughly, because that's Del City there, and that's the road that we're down, oh, I don't know, maybe 9 miles or something like that. Well, my 2 bird friends are still going. Looks like they landed on the summit there. We're gonna head back. It's like, I don't know, last time I looked at my watch, 4:30, something like that. With stops to gander at things, only really took like under an hour to get up here, for sure. So, should be pretty quick on the way down. I just gotta be careful with those sections that are a little sketchy, you know. Mostly downhill from here. Head back to camp. See how much daylight we have left. Woo. Well, looks like I'm in the shade a little bit here, but it's dry. Feels good. Even though it's light, it's also going to feel good to take this pack off. Oh, and according to my Fitbit, and who knows how accurate this is, but you know, it's based on steps and heart rate and movement, whatnot. It's estimated that I've burnt 4,000 calories today. So, I told you we're going to go negative on calories this trip, most likely. Or, well, it's definite, because remember, I said I brought 5,000 calories, and I've already burnt 4,000, allegedly. We'll be down to salt packets, maybe a spare mayonnaise packet, applesauce on the way out, although that might be for breakfast, but who knows. I'm rambling. Sun feels good on my face. Temp feels pretty good. I wonder what it is. 63. And good Lord, it's 6:58. So, I'm just going to hang out. I'm going to view the sights. Maybe explore around camp. And I'm going to say today was a pretty good day. A lot of activity. And there's a lot more coming tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be interesting. But we will cross that ravine when we get there. Good day. I bet you're hungry too. All that hiking we've been doing. You got your own MREs, right? Good morning, everyone. Look at that pink light hitting the tent door there. Wow, that's intense. Intense. Yeah. According to my thermometer, the low, it's currently 42 and the low 40. So not too bad. Didn't crack into the 30s after all, which is great. But hey, we should get out of here and get the day started. Slip on my shoes here. Oh yeah, that sounds good. Woo, oh, it's right there. Hey now. Not bad. Here's my water. That's what I got left, so I probably should have brought a little more up here with me, because I do want to pound some of that before I go, but I'm not feeling too bad about that. But we do have the hike back to the water cache, of course. Well, let's get up. Hello, sun. Yeah, all right. And my solar charts are out. I tried to guess where I would be getting some sun at this, if I didn't get out of the tent already, but it looks like I was a little off on that. It's not quite hitting it yet, but that's okay. I'll move that. Ooh, look at it go. No clouds in the sky this morning, just some haze. And there's where we'll be heading back towards to link up with the main loop and retrieve my water. Not bad. Well, I'll tell you what, there's not much to do at camp but break it down. So that's what I'm going to do while I eat some snacks and repack my bag. And then I guess we'll leave this tent site behind and we'll link back up with this trail. See what we got going on today. All right, tent's down, that's quick and easy. Time to pack up. Hung out at camp a little bit. Put on some sunscreen because it seems like I might actually need it today, which is nice. And now we're just packing up. Also, I didn't mention this yesterday, but doing this order here. I don't think this would be a great place for hammock camping anyway, because this is probably the most trees you're going to get. But small print on the camping permit is that you can't attach any weight-bearing hammocks or tarps or accessories to trees. So hammock camping is out around here, unfortunately. So it seems. I'm just about packed up, and what I usually like to do is try to get my heaviest stuff towards the middle of the pack, and then I put my food on top so it's accessible. That's just me personally. And then for small stuff like clothing items, I have like some the long johns over here and a buff and a couple other small fabric-y things. Because I have the zip top, once I'm fully packed, then I like to come along and just shove those into the cracks down here. If you didn't have the middle zip, then you would just kind of reach down, but I like to put that stuff last because it just kind of fills in the cracks, and that way you can concentrate strategically more on your bulky items first. And then I don't put rigid items in the outside of my mesh pocket until after I've packed the inside. It just seems to make things easier. Once the bag has some shape, tent spikes, stuff like that go on the outside, and it kind of just fills in those little gaps nicely. This is pretty personal stuff, and it depends on your pack, but that's how I usually roll. That's that. Last thing is my water bottles. All right, let's do it. Goodbye, campsite. You served us well. We are back at it. Going the opposite direction of the peak hike. Take on phase 2 here, which is Devil's Hall and Pine Top. Just got to knock out a handful of miles, and that'll get us back to that intersection, the one where I cached the water actually, which speaking of, I should definitely remember to pick that up. that wouldn't be good, but I'll remember to pick the water up. So I'll tell you what, this sun is beating down today. It's definitely making me appreciate the shade I had on the way up, because it's cooking me on the way down, and I am officially out of water, quite thirsty. So thankful that we did this water cache, which actually, and I remember this little switchback cut, which means without even consulting my GPS tag, I think it should be right over here. Yep, I see a bag. It's still there, that's good. Got a little bit of sunlight on the bottles, but that's okay. And a whole lot to do, but my note's still there. One empty, but a whole lot aren't, which is good for survival. my legs aren't going to like it, but that's okay. Pack back on, and hit this horse trail up. Yep. I haven't thought about my legs all day, really. Now I remember I do indeed have legs. And they're going to have to start working a whole lot harder, and I got to watch my balance more. Because instantly, by putting this backpack on, my coordination is a little different. I'm going to show you this map. So, why don't I find a rock to put it on? Alright. Here it is. Hopefully that rock holds it in place. Hopefully you can hear me because of the wind, but here we go. So there's the Pine Springs Visitor Center, right? And yesterday we came up, we got to the intersection with this horse trail here, picked up water. My next campsite is over here at Pine Top. You notice I keep talking about Devil's Hall. It does not connect to anything. It's a one-way kind of feature to go look at. What I'm supposed to do is go down to the Pine Springs Visitor Center, but what I'm going to do, based on few reports that I've read, you see how close those trails are? There's a few hundred feet of elevation gain, but it's really not that far. It's less than a half mile between the two. I think I can bushwhack right in between the two after I see Devil's Hall. It's kind of an unofficial thing to do. We're gonna try it. So like 2 or 3 people mentioned this. Didn't get like anything super specific, but like if this doesn't go right, I'll be definitely wasting a lot of miles, because I'll have to come all the way back out and do everything I already described from Visitor Center and get on top of there. We'll see if this gamble pays off, I guess. Look at that erosion washout over there. Remember, all this is still reef. Very old, compacted reef, but reef. Hot, arid, and dry. Thankfully, there's some pockets of shade in here. It's a whole completely different feel. Some deciduous trees, shade. I think I'm actually going to take this opportunity. It's not quite noon yet, but I'm just going to bust out an emery and get some calories in the shade before I start the rest of this trek. At this point, I think we're about as low as we go, and so it'll be the beginning of our 2,000-foot ascent after we get to the hall. So time to fuel up and relax a little bit, take some weight off the back. Beef goulash, brown rice, spinach, carrots, tomatoes, smoked paprika. Guess that's what we're going with for lunch. Oh, and by the way, I am an idiot. I guess it's been too long since I've used an MRE, although it wasn't that long ago in South Carolina, I guess a year and a half ago. But anyway, remember I said I just can't get these things cold enough, and I know I've used them in the winter, snow, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I forgot to put the MRE pouch, food pouch, in the actual bag like that with the heater. I was just doing the heater by itself and then tucking it in the cardboard thing. It should have dawned on me that I know those. I've had some snow trips that were below freezing for sure, if not even closer to zero. Which at that point you should probably be using a cold weather MRE, which is basically just mountain house but with boiling water. But that's another story. Anyway, 40 degrees shouldn't have killed it for me. So let's see if I have more success now. It's in there. Add the water, put the little cover on it, and maybe even put it in some sunlight. See if this goulash is piping hot or not. Wow, I can already feel the heat. What a difference that makes. Oh, another cool thing about this meal kit. It came with a slice of wheat bread. And it also came with peanut butter and a separate packet of jelly. So I have the ability to make peanut butter and jelly. So I'm saving that as a lunch for tomorrow. Because at this point I have one true entree left, and that'll probably get eaten tonight. So I'm feeling pretty good about my meal rationing. Polish this off, and guess we should get back on the trail, because I've taken about an hour lunch break once I get done this, I do believe, at least. Devil's Hole. Follow wash. Whew, holy moly. It's almost like snow blindness in here. All the rock is so white. It's like frying my eyeballs in the areas that are getting direct sunlight. Man. A little bit of choose your own adventure, I suppose. Cool color. It's like an orangey red. It's dawning on me that I don't know how much time and effort and energy this is actually saving, this shortcut of mine. Not with a full pack. It's definitely good for a day hike, but with a heavy pack, this isn't the fastest thing to navigate without rolling an ankle or something. But yeah, keep that in mind. Maybe you should heed my advice of, might not want to actually do this. But I'm having fun. Wherever I'm going. Also, look, check out these rocks. All stuck together elements. Way back in that Permian period. Like a mixed concrete of all kinds of stuff. Rocks, organisms. Pretty cool. Tell you what's not cool is the sun. I'm trying to go easy so I don't sweat too much because, you know, water is a premium. But you should be just about to the payoff here. What in the world? I think we go up that. I would say, at least if you're new to backpacking, I wouldn't do this with a ton of weight on your back. Shoot. Other than desert hiking, I don't think I've had this much, a pack this heavy since I first started backpacking. And this makes me feel like I am brand new again here. Getting down's gonna suck. Oh my God, water. Now remember, wow, it's not looking too good, but remember it said not allowed to take any water. But I'd have to be pretty desperate for that. Oh, doesn't smell great either. That's... what do we got here? It's getting narrower. Just hope something's at the end of this. So right now it's just walls. The end. I'll believe it when I see it. Oh boy. Another sign. Only this one looks a little more official. Oh. Call my bluff like that, huh? Area beyond this point is closed, March through August, due to sensitive wildlife habitat. Shit.
Devil's Hole.
Well, I just gotta look at the map. It says it's right here. The trail is like right up there. I got a line from here, but what you don't see on the top of the map is vegetation, and yeah, you can see it in aerial photos a bit, but now I don't know what am I gonna do. I don't know, man. I've done a lot of wild stuff on public lands. Choose your own adventure, all kinds of crazy stuff. But, hey, this is National Park. Whole different as far as use case and what I'm comfortable promoting doing. Also, this is not the simple backpacking trail that I don't want people to think this is the simple backpacking trail that I'm making it out to be. So I don't think I can promote doing this or advise it for myself, even though I'm not in that protected area, and I am on this drainage, which is keeping me from damaging anything. But this is just, you know, and the crazy thing is I don't know what's ahead of me. And because of my reservation thing, the only place I'm allowed to camp is the place I registered. It's not like other places where if this gets weird and it gets dark, I'll just camp. I mean, yeah, in a true survival scenario, could I do that? Or would I do that? Yeah, you do what you got to do. But again, National Park, they're just going to say you shouldn't be putting yourself in that situation in the first place. There's other places to test those boundaries. Oh. Yeah, I'm going back down. See if I can come up with something in my head to do. I could ask to stay at the car camping grounds, since I guess they would understand. Well, no, not really, because I would be like, hey, I tried to create my own route and it failed. Can you help me out by putting me in another spot? But either way, I'll head back, try to brainstorm. And the sun keeps moving. I got 6-ish hours until dark. We're definitely a lot further away from camp than we could have been this morning, huh? Devil's Hole, you got me on this one. Gotta be honest, I think I'm officially suffering from some demoralization. Demoralization. Yeah. Hey, I mean, that's the part of the thing about, you know, people say, gotta take risks, which is true. And then they act like it's crazy when sometimes you fail. Or you act like it's crazy for yourself when sometimes you fail. That's the whole definition of taking a risk. And I took one with this route. I knew that. But it's funny. It's easy to make yourself sound cool and be like, this is a bit risky because if this doesn't work out, I'm going to have to completely turn around and, you know, all the things that we're probably about to do. And then it really happens. And you feel ashamed about it. Why? I thought that's what made it cool, was that you might have to do something, you know, horrible if it doesn't work out, or suffer the consequences, etc. These are the consequences. One foot in front of the other. Let's go. Gonna climb back up out of here, and at that junction is something called Cherry something Trail, and from there we'll make some decisions, I guess. This should be it. Let's at least see what views we have on the Cherry whatever trail. In 1 mile, this will return to Pine Springs Visitor Center, and the other side of it, ironically, mocking me, is Tejas Trail. But see that canyon, Cherry Canyon, which we were in? Well, there's no getting across that. No matter what, I got to go back to the visitor center here. Regardless of what I decide to do, I could check and see what if they have like self-service campsites that are actually available. I am thinking though, from looking at this canyon, see the way it tapers in, and we were like walking in it. And I think eventually, I think those people that did the bushwhack probably did go past that trail closure sign. And it probably eventually narrows and narrows and narrows that drainage until it gets shallower, and then you can get out of it at some point. Doesn't matter now, but that's what I'm thinking. Anyway, I'm headed back in the direction of Pine Springs. The other thing is water. Even if I had food, I'm burning through a lot of water, and that would definitely run out tomorrow if I did all this plus went up there night hiking, most likely, or at least setting up camp in the dark. Yeah, I'm just I don't know if that's a good idea. I guess I'll make a final decision when I get to the campground, but ooh, it feels dicey. Feels dicey. Kind of ironic. I guess this is what I get for doing that little cliffhanger about the water at the beginning. I didn't exactly lie. I mean, I was out of water, but karma got me. Karma got me. Okay. All right, sounds good. All right, love you too. Bye. I wasn't talking to you guys. I mean, no offense. I love y'all, but not like that. That was my wife on the phone. She said I should just be honest and put this in. Because I'm like a half mile from the visitor center, and which I can see. And I was like, I bet you I have service. So I went ahead and called her, and I told her everything. I was like, I'm not even going to start going up to this. I'm starting from zero at the campground. I'm not even going to be starting up until 4, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, by the end of it, I was like, what am I talking about? So we're going to go for it. We're just going to resupply water down here and go for it. I don't know how long it's going to take to actually get down there, get water, and get back at it, but it didn't really get dark till like 8 yesterday. So right now it is 3:52. I'm still, I don't know, it's under a mile. I can see it from the visitor center, campground, all that stuff. So we should get going. Now the food thing, still think I can do it. Still gonna do it. For the 4th time. I'm not recommending you make this decision, but I'm making this decision. Let's go. There it is. Chaos Trail. I'm gonna take it this way. Here we go. A little after 4. Thought there might be a bridge or something because the trail goes right over this canyon at this point, but guess there's no need for that. The walls are shorter here. Doesn't look very official, but whatever gets the job done. There it is. All right, so if all goes well, and I'll be careful the way I say that, we're going to return from here tomorrow and then end, because now we're on an actual like loop. Still got that 2,000 feet of elevation gain to do. 5-ish miles or something like that to get up here to camp. And well, the cold reality of the uphill ascent has kicked in. We're on the other side now. That thin line is the horse trail I took into the canyon. And that thin line is that oh so lovely zigzag. The dreaded zigzags. I guess it's just seeing them from a distance. But I mean, God, 2,000 feet, 4 miles. I've done far more terrible things. Why this got in my head, I don't know. But we're knocking it out now, I think. Shouldn't speak so soon. Wind is picking up. Some pretty cool views in here though. I might be psychologically back in the game here. I think so. Whew. And there it is behind us. How we got to the top of that, I don't know. Whew, I'm hurting now. Dragging, I should say. And that sun, it might not be sunset yet, but it's threatening to go behind those mountains. Well, keep moving. I am ready for some flat ground. Oh, if only I had wings right now, I'd be up there. A little easier. Not gonna lie, people, I'm about done. Been a long day, mentally, physically. A long day indeed. I think the hardest push is over. 11 miles, 6,000 calories today. Yeah. Oh. Just in time for alpenglow, I guess. Can't really argue with the view though. Good Lord. Oh man. Yeah, I'm done. I don't even know if I'm waiting for it to get pitch black or dark at all before I get in the tent tonight. Good day, hard day. Mistakes were made. But, you know, I did some gambles. Tried some things. Certainly saw a heck of a lot more than I would have if I hadn't. I'm gonna call it worth it. But yeah, I say we all get some rest. Make it an early night. We'll catch up in the morning. We'll keep tomorrow simple, but we'll still see some awesome sights. There's something called the bowl that I'm gonna use to get down out of here. I'm looking forward to that. All right, enough of that. I'll catch you in the morning. Well, it's light out. I guess it's time to start moving. Morning, everybody. Slept good. I think I woke up less than last night. Not a little warmer. Ooh, and I see sun hitting the tent. It's 49 now. I don't think we broke the low from yesterday. What was that? Whatever that was. Yeah, a little warmer, a little more. No, I guess the wind was about the same too. Not bad. I'm gonna get moving here. Oh, body's a little stiff. I think I can tell that already. Let's see how it looks like today out here, though. There's the sun. Oh, man. Alright, I'm hoping it warms up quick. Nice golden sun coming down. Oh yeah. A little stiff. Gotta limber up. There's the tent. Ended up being a little bit of a weird pitch because I had this log in front, so I had to go over top of it. And so it gave me a kind of a weird shape. In front, putting the tent spike in front was too close. There wasn't enough line to go out here. I do have a little extra rope. I guess I could have got creative, but instead I got creative and just hammered a plastic tent spike into the log and just got it as tight as I could. All right. Tell you what I'm going to do is, because I want to get a hobbling around here. I want to get a decent start today. My wife's actually going to pick me up around 2:30 today. So pack up and get on the trail. Putting it back on. At least I can get it up without putting it on my knee today. There we go. Whew. Yeah, it feels better. I got like 2 liters of water for the hike out and hydrated pretty heavily this morning. Campsite is clear. Left no trace. And we're gonna hook up with the bowl trail, which is actually a loop. It's a loop up on top of the mountain that goes through a little bowl formation up here. Just going to use one side of the loop, half of it, to get up to Hunter Peak, which will be our final peak of the trip. It'll give us a nice view. I'm going to assume, because it's our direction, that little bump is Hunter Peak. I went ahead and had my peanut butter and jelly sandwich creation this morning to get the day started. And at this point, it's like 9:30 or something. So that gives me plenty of time to sightsee and hike out. Sun is back out in full force. It's probably into the 70s already. And here comes the morning uphill. Whew. Here's the canyon that leads back to Pine Springs. We've got an obstacle in our way. Before that happens, Hunter Peak. So we got a little spur trail off of this bowl loop. Little spur, just a little up and down. We'll get a view. And then I'll come back down. I'll continue along here. By the way, this will be, whew, pardon my terrible hair, let's hide that. This will be my second trip in a row. It must be a Texas thing, where I've kind of cheated on my post-hike burger with like a facsimile burger. Last night, I actually had the best MRE of the trip yet, and ironically, it was a meal that I was putting off because I thought it sounded weird, and now it's a jalapeno flavored beef patty. It actually had decent flavor, but it came with 2 tortillas, some jalapeno cheese spread, barbecue sauce, and mayonnaise. So I put the mayonnaise aside, but I used the cheddar cheese spread and the barbecue sauce and made 2 cheeseburger wraps, kind of. Not as good as the one I'm going to get after this, but pretty amazing and pretty filling. Also came with potatoes au gratin. I was almost too full last night. I heated them both up in the pouch properly, and it was amazing. I still am calorie deficit, but it's one of those things where I just suddenly ate after not eating enough, and I just tapped out. So I saved the rest of my snacks for today, which were some of the best snacks yet as well. I'm telling you, really hit the jackpot with the jalapeno burger. Oh yeah. Look at those beautiful Texas mountains. And that's where we got to drop down to that. It is, from here on out, all downhill today. I mean, very minor up and downs on the way out, I do believe. Quite the plunge we have to go, but that'll be a welcome change. Oh yeah, geological survey marker. We got a date on that guy. I'm guessing the 40s. 1945 or 3. I don't feel like bending over with the pack far enough to look at it, but wow. I think I need to drink some more water or eat a snack. So I just got a little dizzy from doing that, and this is not the place to be doing that. It is beautiful. Now, let me show you. There's a lot of weird things in MREs, at least when you read them out loud, but in my opinion, they usually end up being at least good enough for when you're working hard. But check out what I got last night. That is some real M&Ms. Yeah, I got real candy. I mean, it's all real food, and a lot of it, sometimes you're suspicious. It's, you know, you never know what company actually made some of that stuff, but it's always called something weird. This, I know for a fact, was made in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and it may not be real chocolate actually, but they're real M&Ms. Ah, man. So I'm gonna snack these bad boys. They were packaged on February 2020. I'm gonna snack on these enjoy this view. And then we'll get on the bowl trail and on to the next downhill phase. We should catch some views coming down off of that bear trail as well. But this first, then shoes on the ground. Bowl keeps going. Bear Canyon, right here. This is where we really start that downhill. Looks like a lot of loose, small rocks too. So I'll be careful with my footing. Feeling pretty good after my M&Ms. Some more hydration. And for those of you wondering, if you're interested, I actually have about 500, maybe 520 calories left. I got a single big oatmeal chocolate chip cookie. I got a package of patriotic sugar cookies. They're both like $2.50 a piece. And I got a packet of mayonnaise. I told you, if it comes down to it, I had a feeling my last thing I'd be eating is a random pack of mayonnaise. And I don't know how I knew that, because you would figure I would use my condiments, but I just couldn't quite figure out what to do with the mayonnaise with that barbecue cheese combination last night. So in a strange way, I must have had a premonition about that, because I do indeed have a package of mayonnaise left. This would be a butt kicker to come up. We're going down in elevation pretty quick. In fact, you can see the old zigzags, the switch back there, and then looks like we go all the way into this thing and then out to the shallower, calmer terrain. It's been one heck of a trip, I'll say that much. Like I said before, I've put myself on purpose in a lot of crazy situations before. And then I've had other trips where I've purposely just wanted to do the chill thing. I did not expect this trip to have as many follies as it has, or challenges. But I accept it. You never can quite plan what's going to happen. Unless it's a lonely pack of mayonnaise, I guess. Some thick vegetation along some of the cliff walls here in Bear Canyon. Steep and slippery, loose rock. But it pays off with some awesome views. I thought the final awesome view would be the peak of Hunter Peak, but I think the walls of Bear Canyon, we're giving it a run. It's pretty cool. So weird. Just suddenly struck with a sensation of smell. Couldn't figure out why it seemed so foreign yet familiar. And then I realized it was the smell of fallen leaves. I haven't smelled that in quite some time. But in this little canyon here, deciduous trees amongst it, it's actually collecting leaves. I know it might sound strange, but most of the area I've been in, there's no fallen leaves just laying around. And I've never noticed their smell so much before. So, we've turned into a bouldery kind of section here to finish it out. It's pretty cool. The sun is blinding. Whew. today I've been just thankful every time the sun goes behind a cloud, because there's just no reprieve. There's no real shade. I got that break when I was in the deepest part of the Bear Canyon there. That didn't last long. All it did was remind me how much I was baking when I was sheltered in there, which is way behind us now. And I could also hear for the first time the sound of traffic in the distance. Polished off my cookies. So hopefully I'm timing this right, calorie wise. Legs were feeling a little wobbly. I realized, yeah, you're probably just hungry. Well, they're beat up, I must admit. But I think part of the problem was I was just hungry and not paying attention to it. So, a little sugar rush hopefully will help with this final approach here. I'm just trying to get my bearings. The campsite should be right over here. My phone's dead, so no GPS. And I don't know, the sign was a little ambiguous. There we go. Those are cars. That's the parking lot. Don't see a black Jeep yet, but that's all right. I'm a teeny bit early, but we made it. The sun is out, but there's shade around here. Mission complete. Almost quit this one, but pushed on. Ended up being worth it. Hope everybody out there had a fun time too. I'm gonna go once again refill water because I just knocked out the last of it, and I'm gonna wait for my ride to go get a nice tasty meal in Del City. But yeah, that's 2 in a row. Loving it, Texas. From here on out, we are pointing it in the direction of Colorado. So stay tuned for some more adventures a little further north. And yeah, thanks for coming out on this with me. So yeah, my mouth is dry, I'm tongue-tied. So until next time, I'm Syntax77, and right now, it's cheeseburger time.